Welcome back to Mrs. Hauser's Art Classroom. Today we're going to be discussing how to create and draw a two-point perspective cityscape on a block of the city. So what we're going to start with for every perspective drawing that we ever do in this class, we are going to start by adding in a horizon line. You can decide where you want to place it, but it just goes all the way across your page. Then, because it's two-point perspective drawing, you are going to add in your two vanishing points. I'm going to stick mine towards the outer edges of my paper. My next step, because it's two-point perspective drawing, I start by drawing a vertical line which is going to represent the corner of the curb. So my first step is to actually draw the sidewalk before I draw the buildings. So I'm going to go below the horizon line and a little off to the right here, and I'm just going to start by drawing a little vertical line. From there, I'm going to attach my receding lines going from the top and bottom of my vertical lines back to each vanishing point. So for example, I'm going to take the top of my vertical line back to my right vanishing point and go ahead and draw a line. Do the same thing with the bottom. So bottom of the vertical line back to the vanishing point. And it's the same process over onto the left side. So I'm going to go ahead, top of the vertical line, back to the vanishing point, and bottom of the line, back to the vanishing point. This is going to represent the curb on my sidewalk, so it's not the top where you're actually walking. From here, if you want to make it a traditional cityscape, and when you go to start adding your buildings, what I would do is just start lining up your ruler right on the edge of the first vertical line that you drew for your curb, and then I would just skip a little space and then go ahead and draw a vertical line going above and below the horizon line. Depends on if you want a really tall skyscraper, you could extend this line way up. Or if you want it to be a shorter building, I could erase down and make this line a little bit shorter. But now it's just the same concept as we did with the curve. Now that I've drawn my vertical line, the next step is to draw the receding lines. Again, receding lines are lines that attach from the vertical line back to the vanishing point. So I'm going to go ahead and do that both top and bottom and on both sides. Again, same thing on the right. Now, in order to keep it from being confusing, eventually we'll start erasing out some of these extra lines that we have. But to finish out my building so that it doesn't look like it goes forever to the left and forever to the right, what I can use are vertical lines or parallel lines. We obviously know that a vertical line is a line that goes straight up and down. Our next set of vertical lines, though, we want to make them parallel, meaning that I'm going to line up my ruler with the corner line, and I'm going to slide it out so that I create what's called a parallel line, meaning that they go in the same direction, same angle, they forever go into space and would never touch. So I created one on the left. That'll create this left panel of the building. Same process on the right. It doesn't really matter where you place these lines, because if you want it to be a longer building, I would just slide my vertical line farther to the left or further to the right. But now I have a bunch of lines here that kind of make it confusing or hard to see. So I'm going to go ahead and start erasing out. For example, I don't need the horizon line inside of the building because the building is solid, and so we wouldn't be able to see that line. I also don't need the top receding lines. So I'm going to go ahead and erase those out. This is why it's super important as you're drawing this perspective cityscape that you draw very lightly. You don't want to have these big eraser marks at the end, and also it's very difficult to erase. So as you can see on my drawing, because I'm drawing harder so you can see it, you'll get these extra little shadow ghost lines, and we don't want to have that for your project. So make sure, again, that when you go to draw this, that you're drawing very lightly